wọ́n ta kò ṣèjọba tí ń bẹ ṣe rí ìròyìn kẹ́ bí ìlú Saheed Òṣùpá Daily Trust tó jáde láàárọ̀ yìí ni kẹ́ wò kẹ́ ṣe rí ìròyìn.
ẹ ṣeun o bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tẹ̀sí ń bá wa gbọ́ tẹ̀tún wò.
fún support yín.
full support wọ́n jẹ́wọ́ bí o ti wá. support full support. ẹ ti gbọ́ nǹkan wọ́n jẹ́wọ́ bí o ti wá náà dákọ̀ọ́rù rẹ̀ ọmọ kò yóò bí ẹ̀yà tó nílò. ẹ ṣe o darapọ̀ mọ́ ẹ dókè lọ́ngbà padà dé ọmọ tẹ̀ ju bó bá ìròyìn
ẹ mú ọba òde ìròyìn ọ̀tá àwọn ni o abádé àtúgbò sí fún yín.
Àbújá ni olú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ọjọ́ 12 oṣù 12 ni wọ́n gbé ibùjókòó agbára Nàìjíríà kúrò nílùú Èkó lọ sílùú Àbújá. Lásìkò ìṣèjọba ìlú Àbújá ní ìlú kẹjọ tí èrò pọ̀ sí jùlọ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ó sì jẹ́ ìlú olódi tó wà ní àárín gbùngbùn. Gbogbo àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ àti àjọ ìjọba kọ̀ọ̀kan ló ní olú ọ́fíìsì wọn nílùú Àbújá. Ibẹ̀ gan ni ibùjókòó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Lọ́dún 2003 ni àjọ Commonwealth gbé ìpàdé wọn wá síbẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni àjọ olókoòwò nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ṣe lọ́dún 2014 kódà lọ́dún 2016. Àjọ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọdé ìyẹn UNESCO gbà á gẹ́gẹ́ bí ibùdó ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn. Díẹ̀ lára àwọn ibùdó tó gbajúgbajà nílùú Àbújá ni àpáta agbára Aso Rock, ilé aṣòfin àpapọ̀, ilé aṣojúṣòfin ilẹ̀ yìí, àpáta Zuma Rock, Millennium Park, báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà CBN, mọ́ṣáláṣí àpapọ̀ àti ibùdó ilé ìjọsìn àpapọ̀ àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì. Kwali àti Abuja Municipal. Kílìṣì tó jẹ́ ohun ìpanu tí wọ́n fi ẹran pèsè ló jẹ́ oúnjẹ tó wọ́pọ̀ tí gbogbo èèyàn sì nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí nílùú Àbújá. Ó jẹ́ ibùdó ìsinmi fún ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn arìnrìn-àjò láti ẹkùn kọ̀ọ̀kan nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà nítorí pé àárín gbùngbùn ló wà. Ìlú Àbújá rèé o, ibùdó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, ògo ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Èkó gọ́ọ̀sì Èkó akéte ìlú ọgbọ́n ẹ̀yẹ̀jà mú àwọn òmùgọ̀ àdìmú nírù ẹni dẹ́kọ̀ tí ò gbọ́n ọgbọ́n rẹ̀ dọ̀run alákejì gẹ́gẹ́ bí àrọ́bá. Ẹni tó tẹ ìṣẹ́ridó tó sì kọ́kọ́ gbé ibẹ̀ lọ́dún 1699 ló jẹ́ ọdẹ tí orúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Ògúnfúnminíre ọmọ ọba ìlú Ilé-Ifẹ̀ ní í ṣe. Ó máa ń ṣọdẹ lọ síbẹ̀ láti Ifẹ̀ ó sì pàgọ́ tó ti máa ń sinmi ṣáájú kó tún tó lọ bẹ ilé rẹ̀ wò. Nígbà tó yá àwọn ọdẹ mìíràn wá darapọ̀ mọ́ láti ṣọdẹ nínú igbó yìí ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣọdẹ tí wọ́n sì ń pọ̀ sí i pẹ̀lú àwọn ènìyàn wọn. Báyìí ni wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tàn kálẹ̀ tó fi dé gbogbo ibi tí Èkó fẹ̀ dé lónìí. Ìlú Èkó ìlú ńlá. Ìlú Èkó yìí ni ibùdó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà wà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí pàápàá lásìkò ìjọba amúnisìn ṣáájú ọdún 1991 tí wọ́n gbé lọ sílùú Àbújá. Èkó àdèlé ọmọ agun àgẹ̀rẹ̀ Èkó ọmọ ànìgbẹ́ ọ̀bùn wọ́jà páṣíọ̀ṣíọ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ ní bàbá Èkó àríjó ṣe bí ọba Èkó ọmọ odò tí ò ṣeé yájú sí Èkó arómi sá lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́.
Bẹ́gùn ò bá jáde mọ̀rìnwó la kọ́kọ́ rí owó gẹ́gẹ́ ní síwá ẹ̀ka ní síwájú bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ń gbúrò wa á ti náà nù ẹ̀ka tó ní tó wà ń bẹ̀ unlimited. ọmọ ní tí a tẹ̀sí mo tẹ́ bá pè mí tí ìsinmi ò ní so ó wà ń bẹ̀ unlimited lórí ìkànnì Western Spring Television ní ìkànnì wa ẹ fàpùrẹ̀ tẹ̀dí kẹ́ ẹ máa gbádùn ètò àríyá wa.
wọ́n sọ fún yín pé ẹ máa wo ó wà ń bẹ̀ unlimited lórí Western Spring Television.
ṣeun ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sórí ìkànnì Western Spring Television tó àrírí.
kò ṣe é máa gbọ́ ìròyìn.
ìròyìn sì ń tẹ̀ sọ̀wọ́ wájú.
nínú ìwé ìròyìn Daily Trust ni mo gbà lọ báyìí ní pàápàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kogi ni mo wá balẹ̀ sí báyìí níbi tí àwọn aráàlú ìpínlẹ̀ Kogi bí wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ̀rọ̀ wàhálà bí orin Portable o wọ́n náà mọ yahoo tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kogi ti jẹ́ kó wó lé wọn àwa táì wá sọ wọn ní dààmú ti dé o àwọn ènìyàn ni wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ̀rọ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kogi wọ́n ní dààmú o látàrí jẹ́ wípé àwọn wàhálà kọ̀ọ̀kan wáyé nípa pé sówó ebi ń pàlú àti jẹ àti mu wá dógún tó sì jẹ́ wípé àwọn wàhálà míì tó tún sodo sí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ń wà wọ́n ní í ṣe ni ìbànújẹ́ wá ń fi pọ̀ lu kì í fáwọn èèyàn látòrí bó ti jẹ́ wípé àti jẹ àti mu ó wá di wàhálà wọ́n ní ilégbè táwọn èèyàn ó tún wá gbé wàhálà náà tó ní o wọ́n ní tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ rí bí èèyàn ó bá gba yàrá kan ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kogi wọ́n ní tẹ́ ẹ bá ti ní bíi 30,000 ìyẹn ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgbọ̀n náírà ẹ gba yàrá kan èyí tí ó tó yín fẹ̀tẹ́ sùn nù dáa ó ní ọ̀tún ṣe wàá sọ̀rọ̀ Abdullahi ó ní tó dùn òun jù ní wípé òun kàn ṣàdédé sùn lòun sì jí nídàájí ní àbọ̀ onílé òun pé ilẹ̀ tó jẹ́ 30,000 ni o ó ló ti di ìlọ́po mẹ́ta ìyẹn 90,000 naira ó ní tó kọ́kọ́ ṣe tóun kọ́kọ́ ṣe ni pé òun kọ́kọ́ yí àgbàdo ó ní tọ́bù kan sáré gbọ̀n òun wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ló sùn bíi kóun gbọ̀nsẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ sárúlá ọ̀run ó lóun farabalẹ̀ òun ò sì torí tó máa ní kóun sọ̀rọ̀ ńbẹ̀ ó ṣe kóun ó síwá wò ẹlòmíì náà tóun náà sọ ó ní yàrá kan àti pálọ̀ ilò òun ń lò ó ní tóun sì ń san fún méjèèjì òjò ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà 50 náírà ìyẹn 90,000 ó lọ́sàkó oorun dé ògò sọ́kàn òru kan náà kàn mú nótìsì wá fóun pé oṣù tó ń bọ̀ lówó léèrè ó dúró owó yàrá kan àti pálọ̀ kan ti di ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà 300 ó tún wá lé 350,000 naira eléyìí náà ló ń tún yàgbàdo pé nípínlẹ̀ Kánò yìí náà kan kì í mọ̀ sí pa fẹ́ kọ́lé ìjọba ọ̀run wọ́n ní pé rárá ìjọba ọ̀run kọ́ ilé ayé tá a wà náà ni nígbà tẹ́nìkan yóò wá máa sọ̀rọ̀ ìyẹn jẹ́ ẹni tó ń mójútó àǹbániralẹ̀ àǹbánikọ́lé ó ní kẹ́sì mọ́ òkè kan ṣàdédé rí pé àwọn ìyẹn náà ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o ó ní àkọ́kọ́ àwọn tó jẹ́ ẹjẹ́ǹtì onídààmú tiẹ̀ náà pọ̀ torí n tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé àwọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ yahoo àwọn tó ń cháchẹ́ tán tẹ̀ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ó ní wọ́n ti jẹ́ kówó olé ọwọ́n torí iye tẹ́ ẹ bá ti pè fún wọn ìlà wọn gbà á tó sì jẹ́ wípé àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí ló jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ fi ojú rẹ̀ ó gbogbo èèyàn àwọn tá a mọ yahoo ṣe wọ́n ní dààmú ti wá dé wọ́n ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ onílé náà ti fi lé ó fi ní àwọn ènìyàn lára làwọn nǹkan bá tó sọ o wọ́n ní kì í ṣe ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kánò nìkan wọ́n ní kódà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n dá akọ rẹ̀ mọ́ wọ́n nílé wọ́n jù nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun náà pàápàá jùlọ nílùú Òṣogbo wọ́n lọ wọ́n kọjá bìkíáfù wọ́n ní tá máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ lébà ẹlẹ́mọ̀ gbọ́tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́ ọmọ ṣe bíi ti Joshua bó ti ṣe wọ́n láwọn nǹkan ló fi hàn pé lóòótọ́ kò síbi tí ṣe ò sí kọ́lọ́n kọ́ máa ṣàánú.
káàbọ̀ nínú ìwé ìròyìn Vanguard tó jáde láàárọ̀ yìí níbẹ̀ ló ti di mímọ̀ o àjọ tó ń fìràn máwọn tó bá ṣòwò ará ìlú mọ̀kùmọ̀kù lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà EFCC nínú yìí fi yé ni wípé wọ́n ti ránṣẹ́ pé gómìnà àná ní ìpínlẹ̀ Delta ìní sẹ́nitọ̀ Ifeanyi Okowa láti wá ṣàlàyé àwọn owó kan tí ẹ pọ̀ wùyẹ́ ó fò lọ làákò tó fi wà gẹ́gẹ́ bí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Delta àpapọ̀ owó ọ̀hún ni wọ́n sọ wípé ó lé ní tírílíọ̀nù kan náírà 1.3 trillion tó jẹ́ àrà owó tí wọ́n san fáwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa ń pèsè epo rọ̀bì ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà láàrin ọdún 2015 sí ọdún 2023 gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ti ṣe nínú àlàyé náà àjọ tó ń fìrò máwọn tó bá ṣòwò ará ìlú mọ̀kùmọ̀kù EFCC ni wọ́n sọ wípé ó ránṣẹ́ pé gómìnà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí fún ìpínlẹ̀ Delta Ifeanyi Okowa wá sí ọ́fíìsì rẹ̀ tó wà nílùú Port Harcourt tí ṣolúlú ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers níbẹ̀ náà ti dá àjókòó tí ó ń fọ̀rọ̀ wá lẹ́nu wò ẹ ǹlẹ́ o gómìnà náà Your Excellency sà owó báyìí owó tọ̀hún bó ló ti jẹ́ bó ló ti wùyẹ́ tó fò lọ wọ́n ní lára àwọn owó tí wọ́n sọ wípé ti mú sọ́run gómìnà náà ọ̀hún tí wọ́n sọ wípé ó gbà níbi ó ti gba owó kan tí wọ́n sọ wípé ó tó 100 bílíọ̀nù náírà lára owó ìlú tó jẹ́ ara àwọn owó tó wà fún ìpínlẹ̀ Delta wọ́n pé gómìnà ń gbà á láti fi ra dúkìá láwọn apá ibìkan pàápàá jùlọ àti láti fi ra ìpín ìdókòwò ní gbajúgbajà ilé ìfowópamọ́ kan lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà gbogbo àwọn owó yìí ni wọ́n wá sọ wípé pàápàá jùlọ ilé tó jẹ́ àwọn owó tí wọ́n máa san fún àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń pèsè epónú rẹ̀ ìyún ní ìdá 13.1 gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ti pínyamọ́ rẹ̀ kalẹ̀ owó yìí ni wọ́n sọ pé gómìnà ò lè ṣàlàyé ní tí wọ́n fi ṣe o bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni wọn ò lè ṣàlàyé bí owó dédé wùyẹ́ tó fò lọ àti bí ó rè é bà sí gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ti sọ sẹ́yìn ogún ọdún àmọ́ ọjọ́ òyìn lọ́wọ́ ló ṣokùnfà bí wọ́n ti ránṣẹ́ pé gómìnà ń wò délé Oyèwálé tó jẹ́ agbẹnusọ fájọ EFCC lọ́mọ̀ fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ múlẹ̀ àmọ́ tí ò sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ fáwọn oníròyìn lóòótọ́ la ránṣẹ́ pé sẹ́nitọ̀ Ifeanyi Okowa tí í ṣe gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Delta láti wá wí tẹnu rẹ̀ lórí ọ̀kan ọ̀jọ̀kan ìpàsípàyọ owó tí wọ́n pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀ láàkó tó fi wà gẹ́gẹ́ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Delta. Ẹ̀yin fẹ́ wẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ ìròyìn ọ̀hún Vanguard tó jáde láàárọ̀
ìròyìn tẹ́mi ò fi káàdì rẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ lónìí ló sọ pé wọ́n ti fi páńpẹ́ òfin gbé àáfàá kan o. Wọ́n ní ẹ̀sùn ìfipábánilòpọ̀ ni wọ́n fi kàn án. Ilé ẹjọ́ tó ń rí sí ẹ̀sùn ìfipábánilòpọ̀ ní agbègbè Ìkẹjà àti àwọn wàhálà míì tó bá tún ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ilé o ni wọ́n ti rán àáfàá mùsùlùmí kan tí wọ́n pè ní Alani Rafiu. Bóyá orúkọ Alani apọ̀mọ ọlọ́mọlẹ́kúnjayé rò ó lò náà bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀mọ ọlọ́mọlẹ́kúnjayé o. Wọ́n ní ẹ̀wọ̀n gbére pé ìsẹ̀mí ayé rẹ̀ tó kù láyé ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n ní kó o ti lò ó. Ẹni wọ́n fi fún onídàájọ́ Rahman Oshodi òun ló dá ẹjọ́ náà ní àná nígbà tó sọ pé ìwọ Rafiu Abatakula nígbà tá a sọ pé àáfàá ni ọ́ ó sì mọ́mọ́ ọlọ́mọ ẹni ọdún 14 ó mú wọlé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló fi tìpátìkù kò bá láṣepọ̀ olólè kùdí ẹ̀ka tó bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé ẹni ọ̀hún ó bẹ̀bẹ̀ wípé ẹ dákun ẹ wò ń ṣe láàánú tó sì jẹ́ wípé wọ́n tó mú ojú ẹlẹ́rìí 3 kọ̀ǹgbẹ̀kọ̀ǹgbẹ̀ wá àwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta sì sọ pé lóòótọ́ ìlò ṣe ò tó sì jẹ̀bi ẹ̀sùn náà. Wọ́n ní kódà ńgbà tí ó bọ́ ọmọ náà láṣepọ̀ inú mọ́sálásí gan-an ló tán mú un lọ kó tó di pé ó fi gẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ lára ọmọ náà. Wọ́n náà ti ní pé kó lọ fi ẹ̀wọ̀n gbére kó lọ fi lògbà nígbà tí yóò bá tún fàáyà míì láyé rẹ̀ wọ́n lọ gbẹ́ ẹ̀wọ̀n ni ó ti mọ̀ wá. Wọ́n ní kódà bí ó bá hàn tún fáwọn èèyàn ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n ni ó ti mọ̀ hàn. Allah.
Astagfirullah. Kọ́lọ́n dáríjì.
Àmín.
Ó yá jágbe níbí lọ́dọ̀ mi náà mú ìwà máa gbọ́ ìròyìn ṣe bí ẹni panilẹ́rìn o. Daily Trust tó jáde láàárọ̀ yìí ló gbé janto síwájú mi. Ọlọ́pàá kan ìǹṣìpẹ́kítọ̀ ọlọ́pàá tó jẹ́ pé òní wádìí ẹ̀sùn yìí torúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Inspector Elizabeth Osikolu ló jẹ́ wípé ilé ẹjọ́ gíga tó wà nílùú Ìkẹjà tí máa ń rí sí ẹ̀sùn ìfipábánilòpọ̀ àtàwọn ìwà ọ̀daràn míì ni wọ́n sọ wípé abilékọ kan ìyálé ilé torúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Ọmọlára Aláṣẹ yìí ni wọ́n sọ wípé ọmọ kékeré ẹni ọdún 19 years ni wọ́n sọ wípé ó tì í wọlé fọ́kọ rẹ̀ wípé kọ́kọ rẹ̀ ó bá lájọṣepọ̀ káwọn ó lè lọ́mọ láyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ti là á kalẹ̀. Ọmọlọ́lá àtọkọ rẹ̀ Ramani Lateef ni wọ́n sọ wípé wọ́n fi ẹ̀sùn kan ẹ̀sùn kínní fífipá bá àyàn lò pọ̀ ẹ̀sùn kejì kíkàn yàn lábùkù lọ́nà ìbánilòpọ̀ ẹ̀sùn kẹta ìlòkulò ọmọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ti sọ àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n sọ wípé wọ́n sọ fún ilé ẹjọ́ wípé wọ́n ṣe ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ọ̀hún ní nǹkan ọdún 2022 ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Òṣìkọ̀lù tí ó jẹ́ pé ọlọ́pàá tí ó ń handù tó wà nídìí ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún àmọ́ sọ fún ilé ẹjọ́ wípé ẹ wá máa wò ó ìyá ọmọ kékeré ọmọbìnrin tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ yìí wọ́n pé ìyá rẹ̀ ti jọ́lọ̀ nípè lọ́jọ́ tó pẹ́ látàrí bí ìyá rẹ̀ ti wá jọ́lọ̀ nípè ọkọ àtìyàwó ìwà sọ pé ó dáa bí ìyá rẹ̀ bá jọ́lọ̀ nípè wá máa gbé ọ̀dọ̀ wa ọmọ òun tún wá sọ fún ilé ẹjọ́ pé ẹ wò ó kì í wá ṣe pé mò ń gbọ́dọ̀ wọn nìkan o nígbà míì tí n bá ṣàṣìṣe fẹ́rẹ́fẹ́ wọ́n máa kàn mí lábùkù níbi wọn bá kó nílùú bòmí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ kò bá kùn gbé sí mi ọkọ àtìyàwó Ọmọlára aláṣẹ ló dédé tọ̀ ń wá nínú ilé lóru gànjọ́ bó sì tọ̀ ń wá yìí ṣé obìnrin ni obìnrin lòun náà ọmọ òun ló dédé gba tòbí nídìí òun bó ti gba tòbí lọ gba síkẹ́ẹ̀tì gbogbo ohun tí mú ìwà máa fẹnu gbà nú ròyìn ló gbà á lára ọmọ òun bó sì ti gbà tán ló mú ọmọ òun ó ló ti wọnú yàrá pẹ̀lú ọkọ rẹ̀ ó ní lọkọ náà ọkọ òṣè méní ọkọ òṣè méjì ó lọkọ mọ̀ ṣe tó wẹ́lo lára rẹ̀ ó fi kéǹgbé àyà sọlẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ ọmọ òun lọ̀rọ̀ bá dọ̀rọ̀ ilé ẹjọ́ nígbà wọn mú wọnú igi róbótó ìyún ni Ọmọlára Aláṣẹ abilékọ tó mú ọmọ òun wọlé fọ́kọ rẹ̀ pé káwọn ó lè lọ́mọ láyé ọmọ kàbòròbòrò ọmọ òun náà sọ tójú rẹ̀ rí ẹ wò ìròyìn pọ̀ ń bẹ̀ ìwé ìròyìn Daily Trust tó jáde láàárọ̀ ní kẹwò bí wọ́n bá ọ̀rọ̀ ń dé ìyàwó ń sọ fún ilé ẹjọ́ ẹ dákun ẹ ṣeun jẹ́jẹ́ káwọn ó lè lọ́mọ láyé ni o ló ń ṣe wò kó dà bọ́ bá tíra yẹ̀ lára bí ọ̀bá lọ kó tíra yẹ̀ lára ọmọ yìí náà wò ó bóyá Ọlọ́run wọn gbàdúrà wọn k'Ọlọ́run ṣàánú.
Àmín o Ọlọ́run kó má jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wa bọ́ sọ́wọ́.
Àmín Ọlọ́run.
Ibi náà láti mọ sẹnu wa ní déédéé síbi àbí kankan tó ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ń ta ọ̀tún fẹ́rẹ̀ ká ní kété ọ́fíìsì náà lẹ́wà point of correct key torí kò sàn correct key ni. Ẹ ṣeun wo adúpọ̀ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín tẹ́ ẹ bá wa gbọ́ tẹ̀sí darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ títí tó fi dé òpin lónìí ní kété táwọn bá ti ń kó àwọn ètò kúrú yóò mọ̀ tẹ̀lé àwọn ní back to back.
gbèsè àwọn ilé bò.
Múyìwá Àfọlábí lórúkọ tèmi ẹ ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa.
ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Jerusalem mi àti oníṣègbìyànjú náà kó rántí rẹ̀ nínú àdúrà rẹ̀ yóò jù wá ṣe Joshua Adénípẹ̀kun lórúkọ tèmi ẹ ṣe fún fúlù support yín o agbádùn bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ń wò wá ẹ ṣe é pọ̀.
Arrested, affected, sound. What do we see? What do we say? After A, check and confirm. Ever is pounding events. Now for business. Globally arising happenings. So it goes. Even diffusion. Vast and vast. So it's shut long. Wrap the bonds of words. Broken and dissected as it is. Except misheard. This is the news as it is.
After the terrible global influence, was born in Oshogun, a native Yoruba village in Okiogun axis of southwest Nigeria. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was the foundation student of Fora Bay College, Sierra Leone, the foremost university where the pioneer set of native Africans were educated. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's greatest contribution to humanity was his translation of the Holy Bible into the Yoruba language. The man who authored the Yoruba dictionary was also credited with the translation of English classic hymns into Yoruba and the Ekwere languages. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's private residence in Badagry, incidentally, the first story building in Nigeria, is an Akaba museum dedicated to the memory of Africa's first bishop. Western Spring Television identifies Samuel Ajayi Crowther as a watershed character in history.
Evelyn Ohiole, King Eve, how are you today?
I'm good, I'm fine, I'm alive.
I really feel like she's not giving the right answer to the question. When one asks you, how are you, and you said, you're saying, I'm alive. It's very annoying, seriously. How are you? I'm fine. I feel I'm fine will be the right answer instead of I'm alive. Not that I asked you if you're dead before.
Go and check all these 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, everybody, they are extraordinarily sexually active.
I feel is being unnecessarily hyper when it comes to the issue of sex, because we talk about other topics and he feels so reserved. He really doesn't have anything much to say when it comes to other stuff. But when it's the issue of sex, I believe he's being unnecessarily hyper. That's when I have to pick an issue with him. I mean, it's just being unnecessarily there when we're talking about sex. Just like a child, his mom just got him his favorite chocolate or ice cream, very happy, doing as though if he doesn't have sex for a day, he's going to die.
When it comes to finance, women also support their husbands financially. You need me emotionally. You need me spiritually.
Cassie is an amazing person, but I hate the too much that she tried. I need you spiritually, I need you mentally. I can get these things anywhere with money. If you go by the topic was who does marriage favors the most? You know how many jobless women they marry every Saturday? They are saying it favors you. Are they vague so?
Growing up, when I was in the world, we've heard of.
Who are you now?
Well, MC Too Much said he likes saying when I was in the world, and the last time I checked, well, it looks a bit innocent facially, but deep down, he's actually out of this world. We're all in the world now. As long as you're alive, you're in the world. So MC Too Much, I beg, no, it's not about that. I don't want to hear that. Next time you talk, I kiss my ass.
I think I have a problem with you saying ladies are champion, and that's the problem. always trying to attach so much importance to that gender.
It's giving insecurity, it's giving low self-esteem, it's giving a blatant display of egoism. Because at the end of the day, a man who is secured in his worth, a man who is confident of who he is, will not really be disturbed as to whether women are being referred to as champions or not. I mean, at the end of the day, Joseph's a really great guy, but whether he likes it or not, women are champions.
Morning, Dr. Mark. What's up, Lakon? Nice to hear.
I am Dr. Makwa, informationist and veterinarian, to learn about the changing illegal bushmeat in Nigeria. When we say illegal bushmeat, what do we mean actually?
Bushmeat, generally, is any animal that is not farmed by man for food. So, lions, elephants, snakes, manatees, turtles, everything.
I was scrolling through the Wild African Fund page and I saw that people
that occurs in nature, not protected by law. And the reason law does not protect them is they occur in very large numbers in nature. So no matter how much we eat, they still are there. Now these animals usually have a high rate of reproduction. So we really don't have a challenge with their numbers. Then there is the one classified as illegal bushmeat. This is bushmeat that, one, is already at the risk of extinction. These animals usually have a very slow rate of reproduction. Like the elephant that carries its baby, the pregnancy lasts for almost 2 years.
Wow.
The pangolin will have one baby every 2 years. You see, so the rate of removal from nature is way higher than the rate of replenishment, and that's what's causing the problem. So because these animals are at risk of extinction, the law now comes in to protect these animals. And if you now trade in these animals, if you kill any of these animals, you now will be breaking the law. You become a criminal because you're trading or you're engaging in a trade, illegal bushmeat.
So I think what you make it clear, it comes to size the population, the fact people take away from nature much more than they are able to reproduce. Like it's common sense. Okay, so how are we losing this endangered species to illegal bushmeat?
People think cultural. We have to eat them because I have to eat them. If you want the ceremony, you need to eat this meat. Yes, it was cultural in some world. As society developed, we realized this sort of cult really is not beneficial, so we did away with them. So the same way bushmeat was cultural, and we are realizing that we are decimating our wildlife, and we have to learn to separate it and then do away with it. And also, people consume bushmeat because they think it is organic. It is free from pesticides and drugs. Well, the truth is, from our industries, we throw the effluents and the waste produce into the waterways, and this goes into the wild and the animals take them. So you see there's this accumulation, and when you eat them, you're exposing yourself to this. So what you actually think is free from pesticides and chemicals really not be. Then another problem that I've realized that eating bushmeat is an elitist taste. It is a status symbol. The cheapest source of meat we have in society today is the chicken. The cheapest bushmeat, that is the grass cutter. One grass cutter sells for like 4 chickens. So the poor man would rather go and buy 4 chickens that will feed his family more than one grass cutter. So you see that the bushmeat trade is driven by the rich people. Now, when the market is there, the poor people would go to the forest
and go and find it and kill it
because they
and
want
sell
the
it.
money.
Oh,
not they want the bushmeat.
okay, that's understandable.
So if the buying stops, the killing will stop.
Okay, that makes more sense. So as the demand reduces, the supply will be stopped. So I hope you guys have actually watched this and learned a lot from it. Thank you so much, Dr. Mark. Till we meet next time for me to come and ask you more questions.
Always welcome.
Yes. Thank you very much.
West Spring Television. Ours it is.
Hola. Hello again. Thank you very sincerely for keeping pace with us right here, first on all the programs right here, platform, Western Spring Television, and of course, for making this the cherry, on the top, talking about the bookshelf, the program where we get to discuss, relate with everything and everyone that has a relationship with books. I believe that you are keeping well and you have been following previous broadcasts, previous episodes of the bookshelf. You're doing well as well to follow us on our social media platforms, to engage us. Let me see your comments coming through on our YouTube page. That is Western Spring Television. Go right there, subscribe to that channel. Go ahead, watch the videos, like, and please do well to comment. And you know the extra. Copy the link, paste it on your social media platforms, and let us spread the news. My name is Damilola Raphael. I'm your teaching and learning advocate, super honored to be the anchor of the bookshelf right here. One of the things that I get to say a lot of times, which holds true, is the fact that if you don't do it, I don't think anybody else will. No one else will, especially when it is something good. If you do not do it, it's going to take another, they call it starlight time or something like that, okay? So maybe we'll go into that some other time. But no kidding now, very, very seriously. If you don't do it, who will? Who are you expecting? We are all expecting that Messiah, somebody to come through for us and bring about proffering the solutions that we are all desirous of. Why can't that person be you? Why can't that person be me? So go ahead. Start with this small one. That is the one I'm going to use to test you, to know if you can do the big one. Just copy the link and paste on your own social media platforms. Let's get to reach out to other people so they get to know what we're doing right here. And together we make the world a better place for you, for me, and the entire human race. It promises to be interesting. As always, on the bookshelf today, we have a very special guest in the studio. Another special guest, because it's always been very special guests all through. And it's a privilege I do not take for granted whenever we have people come in, to join us and educate us. Yes, that's the word. Educate us, enlighten us on things we assumed that we know, but maybe didn't really get the meat, the juice out of it all, or then again, maybe even actually totally got it all wrong in the first place. Remember, we said it's about everyone and anything, everything that has a relationship with books on the bookshelf. We have live in the studios right here, Western Spring Television Studios, the set of the bookshelf. He is from Dame Knock Unique Concepts Books. Dame Knock Unique Concepts Books. Mr. Sodiq Akinwumi Shuaib. Thank you very sincerely for joining us in the studios today,
Mr.
Shuaib.
Thank you very much, Rafayat. Nice meeting you, huh?
It's always a privilege to meet you. Thank you very sincerely. We should not even go into the details of how we met. This is not marriage. It's how we met. But it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting, and he's here with us on set today. So very quickly, Mr. Shuaib, please educate us. Let's start the chain of book production.
Yes.
The publishing. Give us the details in that chain of production in book publishing. Who are the people involved in book publishing?
Thank you once again. When we talk of book publishing, it's similar to that of normal production of commodities.
Okay.
So without chain of distribution, there's no way the products can get to the last consumers. Same thing applicable to book production. So when the publisher invests in producing books, so he has to work together with
It's an investment.
It's an investment.
Wow.
Publishers are investments. While the authors are the brain box in the sector. So
the author is just one out of...
Yes.
Wow. All right. I'll just
authors write their book.
Okay.
Provides for the publisher for production. And most occasions they collect royalties on the book written. So that's where after being published, the marketers will now come down. Because producers, they are stationed in a place.
Okay.
While the marketers were in almost all the states of the federations. Almost all the federations.
So the producer and the publisher are the same?
The producer and the publisher, yes.
One and the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The publisher are the producers.
Okay, sir.
The marketers are in the distribution chain. They will collect the books from the manufacturer, the publishers, and distribute it around to the final consumers. So it's the marketer that will make sure that the commodity gets to the final consumers, who are the readers. So that's the work of the marketers. And the marketers give feedback to the publisher about the book. Because in most situations, we find out that most of those books,
okay, sir,
we have one or two faults on it. So we are to educate or to inform.
So even with all the proofreading, editing, correcting,
yes. It might be in stitching or the binding sectors. So aside from all of that, there are nothing. We can have any other mistakes, even in the typographic error or what have you. So there are some corrections that might have been made during the editing period, but might not be saved before printing the product. So it's also so. But it's the marketer that will give the publishers the feedback on their product, so that they will, whenever they want to produce another edition of the book, they will make sure that the correction is being made.
Now, is there, you talked about the binders,
yes,
the typists.
Yes.
Now, all these people, the author, the publisher, the marketer, the end user.
Yes.
Now, is there anyone we can pick as the most important figure in that chain? Is there a most important figure?
Everybody are important on their own field. But the publisher engage the typists, the stenographers, his binders. So he engage them and pay them.
Okay.
It might be in wage form or in salary.
Okay.
He engage them, and those people work with the publishers. So, but the marketers, the marketer might be in twofold. It might be independent or dependent.
Okay.
So the independent marketers collect the books, find ways of selling it, and being paid on commission. The dependent marketer, they are being paid. They are being paid for their work.
Okay.
So whatever they sell, they will return. They will pay the money back to the publisher.
Okay.
The independent marketer will collect the book, buy the book, and pay back.
Okay.
He pay the money and buy the book and pay immediately.
He buys, the marketer pays, the independent
marketers will buy the
pays
books
the publisher.
Pays the publisher and go and sell the products. The dependent marketer will collect the book from the publisher, sell it for him, and pay as he sells. Pay back and collect salary for the work being done.
Okay, on the payroll of the publisher. Unlike the author who gets royalties.
Yes.
So we're talking about the most important figure now in that chain. Is there? Is there?
Well, it depends on the side, but I see the author as the most important in the chain. Because if they don't produce the bread, nobody will eat it. So they are the bakers. Because they are being paid royalties. So it's their their brain task behind the production. So because the work they did, so that's what the publisher works upon.
Now, usually, Mr. Shuaib, when we get to hear about marketers, when you're talking about banks, insurance, music, movies, and now books.
Yes. Marketers play more important role in any sector of the economy, especially when you talk about books. Because as we used to usually say that readers are leaders. And we need to make sure that the contents of the book being read is very good and is futuristic. So in any policy to be effected, so the content of the books being read should determine what to implement. So that's why the marketer need to come in. Because I said it earlier on that marketers give feedback to the publisher. So it's the marketer that will tell the publisher that, okay, people are in need of this type of book. They need this type of, they need that type of book. So we determine what the publisher will produce. So they are to guide the publisher on what and what to do and what not to do. So that is the importance of the marketer in the publishing industry.
Now, I'm really working on remembering the title of this particular movie, where the person took his book, started going from one publishing house to the other, gets being rejected because people are not reading this kind of book. So that is because of the marketer.
Yes, it's the marketer that will say, the marketers will introduce the book to the readers, to the final consumers.
Yes, sir.
And he will be the one that will give the feedback to the publisher about the book, so that the book will still be more, the demand for the book will be increasing. Because this wider the marketer cover the market, the more turnover the publisher will get on the book.
Let me ask you, Mr. Shuaib, do people still buy books?
People still buy, but it's not up to the expectation. Yes, it's not, because as we move on, the population keep on increasing, but the turnover doesn't increase as the population increases. That shows that the rate at which people buy books is not up to the expectation. But people still buy books, especially when we look at the initial stage, that is nursery, primary section. We can't do without getting book for the children, for the pupils, because if at all they need if they want to use any other electronics or other handsets or what have you for learning, they must reach some certain age. Let's say like 3 upward. But at initially tender age, they need to get books. Most especially for tracing and writing, beginners work. So it's very essential.
Dear viewer, I have a question to ask Mr. Shuaib with regards to the role of the marketer. He talks about how that the marketer is the one who gets to inform the publisher on what kind of books people are buying. And that next question actually is centered, revolves around that one. But this is what we'll do at this time, this breather. We'll take this very quick breather, and the bookshelf will be back shortly.
Some people say animals don't laugh, but perhaps we don't give them a reason to. Our unique species of gorilla are only found in a small forest between Nigeria and Cameroon, with only 300 left in the wild. We cannot afford to lose even one. Traps and snares used in catching bushmeat often kills or injures gorillas too, driving extinct. And that, you agree, is no laughing matter. So say no to illegal bushmeat from endangered animals. keep them wild, and keep us safe.
Thank you very sincerely, dear viewer, for keeping faith with us right here. The Bookshelf continues live on Western Spring Television, and we are discussing on the topic today, book marketing, the chain of production in the book world right here in publishing. And we have Mr. Sadiq Akinkunmi Shuaib from Dame Knock Unique Concept Books with us live on set. And Mr. Shuaib will just take you up on that question right there. What kind of books are most sellable at this time?
The books are more attractive this time around is English and mathematics.
Across all ages?
Across all ages. English and mathematics. That's the most demandable products now.
Wow, that's amazing, because I mean, you hear people go, oh, now English.
All of that subjects.
And maths so difficult. I was expecting you to say picture books.
I know. They want to be more grounded in both subjects. And the two subjects serve as the key to other subjects. So especially when you talk of science sector, they need more of mathematics.
Okay.
And in arts and other humanities, they need more of English. So it serves as the major entrance into other subjects.
Now, talking about entrance or the professions, talking about entrance now, what's the qualification requirements to be a book marketer? What do I need? What does the viewer need?
Being a book marketer it depends on the interest.
Okay.
The motive, that's the most important thing. If you are interested in being a marketer, then being a book marketer. So that's the first requirement. And we can't restrict anybody that's interested in doing it and is able to do it. Regarding the academic qualification, we don't have any academic qualification for being a book marketer. But it's more advisable for a marketer, for a book marketer, to be more literate. To be more literate, because a book to be marketed should depend on you, to speak more about you. So if you are marketing book that is not marketable, it's as if one keep itself in a net. So the book that you two will be able to assess and figure out some facts in it, they are the best book to be marketable. So being a marketer, you need to be literate to know what's supposed to know, and you should be able to calculate one or two things, because we calculate more. Whatever you buy, you should be able to add everything up and provide your invoice or waybill to the person immediately. So you need more illiteracy, more arithmetical, and more ability to read. To reason, yes.
And that brings us back to the most marketable books at this time. Now, looking at this part of the world, this part of Africa, this part of Nigeria, where we have books being sold on the highways, what do we call those guys?
Most of them are pirates. It's not even advisable to buy a book on highways. It's not advisable. You buy books.
I mean, they have from all manner of authors. Even foreign authors that you may not get to pick up easily.
Even in the country, we do complain about the value of our naira always. The best book for us is to patronize our indigenous books. Because our indigenous books will be more grounded in our culture. And it will be more grounded with our history in production. So buying foreign books is as if we are just wasting our hard-earned currency. So in saving our naira, the best is to patronize our indigenous publishers.
Okay, great. You heard that. Let me also bring this to you, Mr. Shuaib. let's talk about your challenges. You've been doing this for quite some time. I mean, someone said even if it were now that one, if it had been all roses, the person said even roses do have thorns.
Yes.
So let's have a rose now. So the challenges and of course the good times being a marketer.
Being a marketer is challenging because it's a matter of trust. The publisher, they trust the marketer before depending on giving them their products. And also, when we get outside to sell books to our to sell books out too,
okay, sir,
it deserves a lot of commitments because we have a lot of challenges starting from transportation here and there, up and down. If you need a book, I need to get in touch with you for that book. Aside from that, we don't, most especially, we don't collect cash on delivery. That's major challenge we have. So that's why I said that it's based on trust. If you give book worth of ₦1 million to a school or another sub-marketers, that means you put trust in the person. So in the long run, if that person fail to pay, you will be wanted and you have to pay for that product. So most especially, it depends on trust. The major problem we have is trusting and who to trust. That's the problem we face, aside from transportation and demanding also give us some challenges.
Okay.
Because not all parents will demand for book at once. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 6th week of this session now.
Okay.
And some parents are yet to procure their book, which is very challenging for us. So you might have collected your returns from the school and the school is still requesting you. Some of the parents pay for a book, oh, please bring it. When you look at the cost of one book, not even the profits on the book, the cost on a book and the cost of getting that book delivered, the cost of delivering that book will outreach the cost of the book. So that's also another challenge we have. And most at times, some parents will also be buying books at the 2nd or 3rd time for the children. So commitments of the parents in buying books also is also.
But it couldn't have been all dark. I mean, there would have been the bright sides. What are the good sides, good times you've had?
The good time. Well, that's even the main reason why we are in the business. So we are in the business
I like
to make
that.
profit. So if you have any good time, we just have to thank God for that. But most especially the challenges there, they are shooting the benefits we make on it. So the good time is to make sure is the prayer that okay, whenever we deliver the book, whoever buy the book should pay us on time. If you didn't pay on time, you have to go and look for a source for money elsewhere and pay the publisher, because if you want to remain in the business, you need to make sure that you settle your publisher on time. So that he too will get money for further production.
All right, just before we begin to wrap up, we're beginning to coast home at this time. You talked about piracy and how that you do not take books to some points anymore. You want to talk about that?
Yes.
Very quickly, let's just explain why parents would say, oh, this particular school, with focus on those in the primary, the junior secondary and the senior secondary level. Why is it that the school must be the one to supply the book?
The school are the final consumer of the book.
Okay.
They are the final consumer.
Okay.
So taking book to another shelf is as if you are extending the chain. You are prolonging the chain of distribution.
Okay.
As far as our company is concerned, we take the books to the school. We market directly to the proprietors, to the school managers, so that they knows who and what they are to give their awards.
Okay.
So taking books to another media is to make the cost of the book expensive, and also is to encourage more piracy. So piracy is like a tapeworm or a disease it's an infection into the business. So we just want to make sure that we cure that disease sometimes so that the publisher will be able to.
Okay, so
publish.
in the next 20 seconds, Mr. Shoaib, I want for you to encourage the person watching you who is desirous, after listening, watching you, listening to you, desirous of being a marketer, and then release your contacts.
Okay. I am Sadiq Akinkunmi Shuaib. My surname is Sadiq. And whoever that is interested in being a marketer of any book, you have to make sure that you sanitize yourself very well before entering into the business. It's not anyhow business. So it's business that deal with trust. And you make sure that that will be your watchword.
All right, your contact.
And my contact number call is 080 3537 5933. That's for callings, and for WhatsApp is 082 9830 4333.
This really has been an enriching conversation, I must confess, Mr. Sadiq now, not Shy. Thank you very sincerely for joining us on the bookshelf.
Thank you very much.
Dear viewer, there you have it. My name is Damilola Raphael, your teaching and learning advocate, looking forward to the next installment of the bookshelf live on Western Spring Television. And I am saying adios, Dios bendiga.